Mustadio's comment, glib as it was still filled with wonder. As much as he prided himself on the comments he called humor, even he could not hide his amazement at the sight in front of us. Our march had led us to a sharp cliff. Yet our way forward was not barred. A 20-foot-long gangway led onto a ship, suspended in midair by nothing save for a large, tightly knit bag of cloth. And this was not our destination, either. Hundreds of such ships spread as far into the black as our eyes could see, joined together only by narrow wooden gangways with no railings. "He's there," Ramza growled, stepping onto the wood bridge and crossing to stand in the center of the first ship. He pointed to another floating vessel at the edge of our vision. "Vormav is there. I can feel him. That's where Alma is." And without further comment, our leader stepped onto the gangway, striding purposely forward into the graveyard of airships which lay in front of us. The ship creaked and slowly swayed under his movement, and the rest of us followed. We'd already followed him this far. A few steps more wasn't beyond the bounds of our expectations.
"Why isn't it working?"
My blood froze at the anguished scream, yet that didn't stop me from moving forward. The man who was once my father stood over a girl I presumed to be Ramza's sister, golden hair tied into a tight ponytail, spilled over the same turn of chin and cheek which marked his youthful features, yet they were somehow softer. While I couldn't deny that Ramza's features were masculine in their own way, the same features on his sister proved to be the height of beauty. Vormav stood, clenching a holy stone tightly in one bracer-clad hand.
"Virgo is reacting to her. I've found the right vessel,"
my father muttered, ignoring Ramza and the rest of our party as we all raced onto the ship where he stood.
"Ajora can't be resurrected yet. You."
The last was directed towards Ramza, who was slowly drawing a ninja edge in a vile, obscene blade formed of naught but chaos itself. It hurt my eyes to look on the thing.
"That's enough, Vormav,"
Ramza declared, crouching and preparing himself.
"You've lost. Ajora isn't coming back. Give up and give me back my sister."
The aged temple knight grinned at Ramza.
"You're wrong, Ramza. We just need more blood. Just a little more. I've caused enough bloodshed since I've been brought to this task, but I suppose it wasn't enough. I'd worry, but I've got 5 sacrifices right here."
With that, bright light shone from the stone in Vormav's hand, and brilliant gold hairs blazed from his neck as he transformed, his face taking on the aspect of the lion. Hashmalam stepped forward, lips curling back in an obscene snarl.
"These bastards seem to have blood hotter than magma. Let me sacrifice this burning heat to you, Ajora!"
He screamed, magic blazing in his hands as winds swept us from our feet and threw us into the railings of the airship. Amidst the tornado, only Alma's unconscious body was untouched. Which is why Ramza was untouched as well. Noting that his sister was in no danger of harm, he sought to inflict much harm on our foe. While I cannot say that Hashmalam didn't expect the attack, I think the ferocity of it still surprised him. It's the only explanation I have for the way he went down, almost easier than Adramelch. A turn of Ramza's hips as he slashed his blade disemboweled the creature, ropey guts spilling onto the deck even as our blonde leader kicked him in the chest and sent him sprawling onto his back. Even as the beast's eyes tracked Ramza and shot balls of fire towards him, our leader backflipped to brace his feet on the mast of the ship, his eyes orienting as he launched himself towards our foe. Hashmalam's arm spun into the darkness as Ramza's blade bit deeply into the decking beneath, and the monster rolled to its feet with a curse.
Master! How can you not yet be awake?
The lion-headed monster demanded, stretching one free hand towards Alma's prone form as it collapsed to its knees. Blood leaked from its wounds as it watched Ramza approach his sister, helpless.
MPH. Where?
Alma's eyes blinked as she slowly pushed herself up, her weight leaning on one arm as her eyes found Ramza's.
Alma!
Ramza's tone was pure relief. The sound of a man lost who had finally found his salvation. Despite his feelings for me, I knew that Ramza's feelings for his sister ran infinitely deeper, and a part of me envied her that. She represented nothing less than half of him, somehow completing him in a way I knew I never could. Then again, I supposed that perhaps I'd felt the same for Izlud. Ramza and I had freakishly similar origins, both of us were the ignored progeny of a battle-torn family, and both of us had had a younger sibling whom was our only solace. I would have gone as far as Ramza had to rescue my own sibling, but capricious fate had denied me my chance. I couldn't hate him for defying fate to save Alma. As much as I could admit I possessed strong feelings for him, I'd have cut them in twain if it would bring back my beloved brother.
Ramza!
Alma's voice was light, almost musical. Yet it sounded horribly weak, no doubt the result of the hideous trial she'd just undergone. She raised one hand weakly to cup her brother's face.
No. This isn't how it was supposed to be.
Hashmalam spat, rising shakily to his feet as he stepped forward. In an instant Ramza had his blade in hand, shielding Alma with his own body as he faced down the Lukavi.
Bloody angel! My blood will bring you forth.
Hashmalam reached down to grasp the edge of the wound which had disemboweled him, and he tore his own stomach asunder, blood flooding the deck as he stumbled forward. Ramza slashed at him as he came, and the monster ignored it, shoving Ramza aside to shed his blood directly onto Alma's surprised face. The blood struck Virgo, still resting in her lap, and light blazed forth from the stone in response. Ramza barely had time to yell his denial as a shock wave blasted everything from Alma's position away, tossing Hashmalam's corpse over the railing and barely sparing Ramza the same fate as the blonde boy clutched the railing and tipped over, pulling himself back up in time to see the horror that now faced us.
It seems I have a body of my own once again.
A deep voice commented using Alma's mouth. The girl stood practically unchanged, save for the silver hair which now replaced gold.
Alma!
Ramza's cry was pure grief.
What?
Ajor demanded, the deep voice flickering until Alma's clear tone rang forth.
Help me! Ramza!
Ramza pulled himself onto the decking, taking a step forward.
Alma! Don't interfere, brother!
The deep voice attempted to cry, only to fade into a scream of agony as a form of pure light wrenched itself from Alma's silver-haired body. The form faded into a perfect copy, with only Alma's pure gold hair to differentiate it from her chrome-haired twin. Ramza was at her side in an instant.
Alma, are you all right?
Our blonde leader demanded, pulling the girl to her feet and away from the clone in front of them. Alma muttered something to the boy before falling unconscious, and Ramza pressed her into my arms as he made ready for battle.
Everyone get clear!
Much like that desperate battle with Adramelch, Ramza's voice would brook no argument from us. He turned his head to us briefly and glared, his eyes almost burning with the spirit behind them.
I can't cut loose with you anywhere near me. Get the hell out of here!
We retreated, myself pulling Alma away even as she cast a powerful spell of protection on her brother. 2 ships back, barely able to hear the words being exchanged, we paused as a group. We refused to run away without at least witnessing this battle. Despite everything our leader had done, we knew this battle might be his last.
"Prepare yourself, powerless one!"
Ajora cried, and despite the fact the enemy wore his sister's face, Ramza charged forward with no hesitation. A long katana I'd last seen wielded by Marquis Elmdur appeared in the Beolver's hands as if by magic, cutting in half a flare spell as he launched himself into the monster in human form. With nimble grace, Ramza blurred in and out of Ajora's reach, always slashing and slicing with his blade as he impossibly dodged spell after spell, perforated defense after defense. Despite the powerful aura of magic we could all feel, over 100 feet away, Ramza didn't relent. Didn't flinch. Lightning scoured the ground he'd been less than a second ago as he once more closed and struck, relentlessly whittling down his foe without pity or remorse. Even as a powerful blade of lightning blasted him to his knees, the youngest male Beolv slid the mass immune in between Ajora's ribs and grinned as the blade emerged from the savior's back, the startled woman gasping for air as Ramza slammed her into the ground, ripping her torso wide open as he did so.
"This cannot be!"
Ajora shrieked, clawing at the decking as she pulled herself away from Ramza. Mute, our blonde-haired leader flicked the blood from his blade as he strode towards her, intent on finishing the job.
"You're one of Germanic's descendants. I won't be beaten. I won't."
Virgo shone with unholy light, and Ramza jumped back in surprise. None of us had realized that Ajora's reawakening meant that Ramza was just facing a human. We hadn't realized that she could become a Lucavi as well. Ramza flinched, his boots digging a trench into the boat decking underneath as a shock wave pushed him back. Ultima, the bloody angel, now stood before him. Twice as tall as a man, the skeletal being flapped its monstrous wings once as it stretched, claws glinting in the perpetual gloom. In the Book of Glabados, Ultima was second only to Glimsatron in the pecking order of the Lucavi. Ultima was basically the second in command. Ramza readied his blade as the second most powerful demon in existence readied itself to destroy him.
"I will kill you!"
Ultima's roar made me flinch even where I stood. In response, Ramza charged,